Hello, my name is Rob Plank, and welcome to today's Apple Computer Micro-Teaching lesson. What I want to talk about today is areas of the desktop computer. You hear that sound? That is the initial sound an Apple makes when it starts up. We've been using that sound for decades. Sadly, last year, they stopped putting that sound in new Apple computers. You notice on my first slide I mentioned flying first class because an Apple computer is a more expensive proposition, as is flying first class. But the good news is you do get more for your PC computing power. Take a look at this screen. What do we see here? Do we want to comment about this? Yep, that's right. This is a virus on an Apple iMac computer. Apple computers are not immune to viruses. They're less likely to get a virus, but you have to still be careful. Bad things can happen even on an Apple computer. All right, here's a question for everybody. Who has worked with Apple computers before? Show of hands. Excellent. What's great about Apple is it's a growing market share and has been for the last 10 to 15 years. Take a look at our little graph here. We can see where Apple has gone up in market share compared to some of the other makers of computers. Now, they don't lead because, of course, with regard to the pricing, their price point being a little bit higher. Now, what do we want to talk about today? A couple different things. Before we do, I want to show you this one picture. I just like this one a lot. This is for the newer Apple iMacs with the USB-C type connection there in the corner. What I like about this photograph, it's the symmetry of this particular photograph, which I do enjoy. That's the only reason it's on the slides. Again, what are we going to talk about today? First thing we want to cover is making sure we understand the Apple menu, about how the Mac works, the system preferences, the App Store, and the reboot options from the Apple menu. The second part of the equation today is going to be the dock. Let's take a look at how we can add and move icons from the dock, move icons around the dock. And the third part isn't necessarily dock related, which is why we slanted it off to the side, which is the no touch. Let's step back for a second and think about Apple and their philosophy. Of all the Apple computers, laptops and desktops, none of them use a touchscreen. It's just the way Apple goes about their business. You have to get an iPad to get a touchscreen. Let's talk about the Apple menu for a little bit. In the upper left is a little symbol for the Apple, and it will always be there regardless of what menu you're on or what program you're running. You will always find it over there in the upper left. When you click on it, you get a drop-down box similar to this. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like for just a second. I click here and I can see about this Mac. I get information about my computer. System preferences is very popular. We'll use this a lot to get information and tweak our computer to make adjustments from wallpapers to our energy saver to how we connect to networks, etc. Location has to do with our internet connection. The App Store, as you can imagine, very similar to on the Apple iOS. We can go there to download applications and programs. Some are free, some cost. Next is recent items, simply means recent programs, applications we have opened on our system. If an application is acting up, we can force quit it, force it to stop running. The next three run together, which is sleep, restart, and shutdown. We put these together as a grouping because they work together as a team to kind of pull us away from our Apple computer. The lock screen, if we want to walk away from the computer but not allow anybody to get into the system, we'll do a lock screen, which simply means when we come back to the computer, we must put a password back in, but all our applications will remain open. And log out, as the name applies, simply lets you log out of your account on the system. Let's go back to the slides. Let's talk about the dock. What is the dock? Nope, that's not the dock. This is the dock. Nope, not that one either. Third time's the charm. Here is the dock. Take a look at the icons at the bottom, simply representations of the programs we can quickly access and open with our computer. You notice little tiny dots under the icons. They tell us when programs are open. We get to feel what that dock looks like. Keep in mind we can move this to the left, to the right, but it cannot go at the top of our Apple window as the Apple menu and other system information resides at the top. Now, let's turn this over to all of you. Let's take a little bit of time, 30, 40 seconds. I want all of you to write down some of the areas we can navigate within our Apple desktop. For example, from the dock, we know we can open recent files. We know from the Apple menu, we can log out user. I want all of you to take a few seconds, like I said, 30 to 40, write down some of the things we can do from the dock and the Apple menu. Okay, very good. Who'd like to share with us what they found with their Apple? Excellent. I like it. We can get to the App Store, also do system preferences, and from the dock, we can remove an icon, or we can quit an application either intentionally or something that's not playing so nice. Very good. Next thing we'll do is just talk a little bit further about, again, let's think about this. Where do we move our mouse to shut down an Apple computer? Who would like to answer that question for me? Excellent. And then what's the combination of strokes necessary to delete an icon from the dock? Yep, you got it. A control click or right click will get things off of the dock. Last but not least, was Steve Jobs a genius? Was he a nice guy? We will save that discussion for another lesson. Let's go have a fun game of Kahoot to see where we're at, understanding how Apple comes together. I pulled Kahoot up on my other window. I will bring it over to this window. And let's go ahead and try a game of Mac Basics. Go ahead and bring Kahoot up on your computer or use your phone or tablet to bring up Kahoot. And we're going to see a pin here. Let's go ahead and enter this pin. We're going to enter a name for our gameplay. I've got mine in there and I'm ready to go. Excellent, Jim Shu. We can begin this game. All right, first question. What is the bar at the top of the screen called? All right. That'd be the menu bar. I don't know, I didn't pay attention, but yes, this is the menu bar. Very good, Mr. Shu. Which menu is where you sign out of your account? Of course, that is correct. That is the Apple menu. Excellent. Next question. What goes across the screen at the bottom of this picture? And of course, this is where we'll find our dock that we use to launch applications. You're on a roll, Jim. What is open and showing in the middle of this image? This is straightforward. This is our Finder window we use in our Apple II get to documents and programs. Excellent. You are on fire, Jim. And what is the Apple operating system called? And that is correct. OS X. Operating system is OS X. They're on their 10th iteration and a sub-iteration of the 10th. They've been doing that since 2001. Last question. What is the large area in the middle of the screen called? In this case, of course, we all know it to be the desktop. Excellent work. Nicely done, Jim. You are our winner. Fantastic. All right, well done. I'll take a couple minutes here to summarize what we just talked about with our Apple system. In summary, it wasn't like apple pie, but our summary is more focusing on the Apple menu, provides quick access to essential functions, and of course the Apple dock, which we can use to go ahead and quickly launch our favorite programs or applications. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Have a wonderful day.